Welcome to Wired for Wonders Tales. Tonight's tale is called The True Story of the Amityville Horror. Let's descend into the dark. Welcome to Amityville, a quiet suburb nestled on Long Island, New York. Here stands a large, three-story Dutch colonial home, first built in 1927 at 112 Ocean Avenue. This house is forever linked to one of the most infamous stories of mass murder and alleged paranormal terror in modern history, the Amityville Horror. Our story begins not with spirits, but with a horrifying, factual crime that took place on November 13, 1974. Inside the residence lived the DeFeo family. In the middle of the night, 23-year-old Ronald Joseph DeFeo Jr. used a .35 Marlin rifle to murder his entire family while they slept. The victims were his parents and his four younger siblings: Dawn, 18, Allison, 13, Mark, 12, and John, 9. 6 people died that night. After the massacre, DeFeo Jr. fled to a local bar, claiming, "You got to help me. I think my mother and father are shot." Though he initially tried to blame a mob hitman, intense questioning led him to admit to committing the murders and cleaning up the evidence. He later pled insanity during his trial. Ronald DeFeo Jr. was ultimately sentenced to 6 concurrent sentences of 25 years to life, and he died in prison in 2021. The house stood vacant for a year following this heinous crime. But the true legend began with the arrival of its next inhabitants. In December 1975, 13 months after the murders, George and Kathleen Lutz purchased the property. Due to the home's infamous history, they acquired it for a drastically reduced price of $80,000. George and Kathleen moved in their blended family, including her 3 children from a previous marriage, right before Christmas. Understanding the home's history, George asked a Catholic priest, Father Ralph J. Pecoraro, to bless the house. According to the Lutz's tape-recorded remembrances, the priest called them on Christmas Eve and reported that he heard a voice telling him to get out during the blessing. He warned the family to stay out of the second-floor bedroom where the DeFeo parents had resided. From that point forward, the Lutz family claimed a rash of frightening incidents occurred. George Lutz was said to wake up every morning at precisely 3:15 a.m., which was reportedly around the time Ronald DeFeo Jr. committed the murders. The family reported strange odors and cold spots in certain areas. They claimed they saw green slime oozing out of walls and keyholes. More terrifying phenomena were also reported, including an invisible spirit knocking a knife down in the kitchen, and George waking up to find his wife, Kathy, levitating off their bed. Their sons, Daniel and Christopher, also claimed to have levitated together in their bed. George even claimed he and his son Daniel saw a pig-like creature with red eyes staring down at them from a window. The spine-tingling accounts became too much. Only 28 days after moving in, on January 14, 1976, the Lutz family fled the house, leaving all their possessions behind. The story of the Lutz family escaping their cursed home propelled the legend into the public consciousness. Their recorded accounts were used to create Jay Anson's best-selling novel, The Amityville Horror, published in 1977. Just 1 year later, the 1979 film adaptation became a modern horror classic, eventually spawning a whopping 26 sequels or spin-off. As the notoriety grew, famed paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren were called in to investigate. After George Lutz provided them with the keys, Ed and Lorraine Warren, along with a camera crew, explored the house. Ed Warren later claimed that the house reeked of death. While in the basement, he experienced intense pressure, feeling as though he was under a waterfall, and was struck by what felt like hundreds of pinpoints of electricity. The Warrens concluded that the house was indeed haunted by diabolical forces. The lore surrounding the property deepened with uncorroborated claims that the house was built on a Shinnecock burial ground and that a previous owner was an avowed satanic worshipper. Almost immediately, discrepancies emerged regarding the authenticity of the Lutz's memories and the details of the hauntings. Subsequent owners, James and Barbara Cromarty, purchased the house and lived there for a decade with no paranormal sightings whatsoever. They refuted much of the original story, including the claims of greenish-black slime. They clarified that the supposed hidden red room was merely a closet. Independent investigators also proved that the cloven hoof prints allegedly found in the snow would have been impossible because there was no snow in Amityville during the time the Lutzes occupied the house. Most damning was a messy lawsuit involving Ron DeFeo's defense lawyer, William Weber. Weber admitted that the events described were entirely made up by him and the Lutzes. Despite this public admission of fabrication, members of the Lutz family, including the children who were present, have defended many of the details of the hauntings that made them flee. However, Christopher Quarantino, one of the stepchildren, has stated that much of the media depictions are false, calling Anson's book Bull's Tea. Meanwhile, his stepbrother Daniel continues to assert that the house ruined his life and that he still suffers nightmares. Today, the original horror house still exists, though the public address was changed to 108 Ocean Avenue to deter tourists. The house has been sold multiple times since the Lutzes left, and in all that time, subsequent owners have reported no complaints of hauntings, evil possessions, or anything nefarious. The only absolute truth is the tragedy of the DeFeo murders. Everything else, the green slime, the levitation, the demonic warnings, remains fiercely debated, an enduring American legend built upon a foundation of chilling reality. If you enjoyed this tale, please subscribe so you don't miss our next descent into the dark.